Catherine de Medici. The name alone evokes images of intrigue, poison, and Machiavellian power plays in the French court. Her story is one of survival, resilience, and an unyielding quest for power in a world dominated by men. Born in 1519 into the powerful Medici family of Florence, Catherine's life was marked by both great privilege and profound tragedy. Her early years were spent in the opulent courts of Italy, surrounded by art, culture, and political machinations. Orphaned shortly after birth, she was thrust into the tumultuous world of Italian politics, later navigating the treacherous waters of the French court as Queen Consort and eventually Queen Regent. Catherine's life and reign unfolded against the backdrop of the French Wars of Religion, a period of intense religious and political upheaval. These conflicts tested her resolve and forced her to make difficult decisions to maintain her family's grip on power. As a woman in a man's world, she faced constant challenges to her authority, yet she emerged as a formidable political force, a cunning strategist who deftly maneuvered within the constraints of her time. This essay aims to delve beneath the surface of the Black Legend, the enduring myths and misconceptions that have shrouded Catherine's legacy for centuries. By peeling back the layers of myth, we can uncover the true essence of her character and her impact on history. Over the centuries, Catherine de Medici has been demonized and vilified, her name synonymous with ruthless ambition and courtly intrigue. Her legacy has been clouded by myths and misconceptions, painting her as a dark and malevolent force in history. The Black Legend, a term coined to describe the anti-Spanish propaganda prevalent in 16th century Europe, found a convenient target in Catherine. This narrative was eagerly adopted by her detractors, who sought to tarnish her reputation. Protestant polemicists, eager to discredit the French monarchy and its association with Catholicism, portrayed Catherine as a scheming Italian interloper who poisoned her enemies and orchestrated massacres. These polemicists were relentless in their efforts to depict her as the embodiment of evil. The St. Bartholomew's Day massacre of 1572, in which thousands of Huguenots or French Protestants were slaughtered in Paris, cemented her image as a ruthless and Machiavellian figure. This tragic event became a cornerstone in the narrative of her supposed malevolence. However, attributing sole responsibility for the massacre to Catherine is a gross oversimplification of a complex historical event. The massacre was the result of a multitude of factors, including political tensions and religious conflicts that had been brewing for years. While she was undoubtedly a powerful figure at court, she was also operating within a volatile political landscape, facing pressure from various factions and navigating a web of alliances and betrayals. Her actions were often reactions to the turbulent environment she found herself in. It is also important to note that many of the most salacious stories about Catherine, such as her alleged use of poisoned gloves and her supposed involvement in black magic, are based on flimsy evidence and often stem from the misogynistic attitudes of her time. These tales were likely exaggerated or entirely fabricated to discredit her. Women in positions of power were often viewed with suspicion and distrust, and their actions were readily interpreted through a lens of malice and manipulation. Catherine de Medici's story is a prime example of how history can be shaped by bias and prejudice, distorting the true nature of her legacy. Despite facing prejudice and limitations as a woman in a male-dominated world, Catherine de Medici proved to be a remarkably skilled political operator, navigating the treacherous waters of Renaissance politics with finesse. Thrust into the role of Queen Regent upon the untimely death of her husband, King Henry II, she faced the daunting task of governing a kingdom torn apart by religious strife and political factionalism, a challenge that would test her resolve and ingenuity. Catherine's primary goal was the preservation of the Valois dynasty and the stability of France, a mission she pursued with unwavering determination. To achieve this, she adopted a pragmatic approach to politics, often playing rival factions against each other to maintain a delicate balance of power. She understood the critical importance of compromise and negotiation, seeking to find common ground between Catholics and Protestants. Her political skills were evident in her ability to forge alliances, even with those she may have personally disliked or distrusted. She recognized the strategic importance of maintaining good relations with powerful Protestant leaders, such as Gaspard de Coligny, even as she faced immense pressure from Catholic hardliners within her own court, who often viewed her actions with suspicion and hostility. The French Wars of Religion, a series of brutal conflicts that ravaged France from 1562 to 1598, posed the greatest challenge to Catherine de Medici's reign. As Queen Regent, she was tasked with guiding the kingdom through a period of unprecedented violence and upheaval. While often blamed for exacerbating the conflict, Catherine actually spent much of her reign attempting to broker peace between the warring Catholic and Protestant factions. She understood that continued warfare would only weaken France and threaten the stability of the monarchy.